I was watching this video this morning. It came up across my screen. And it was this black woman. I'm not sure if she was a mother or not. And if you run across the video, send it to me, please.
Mm-hmm.
But it was this black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, don't expect for children today don't expect just because you take care of your children in the best way. You put them in the best clothing. You send them out looking like celebrity children and the best. Don't expect for them to respect you or to take care of you when they get older. And I did respond to the video earlier, but I couldn't find it. I was looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, I realized that what she didn't realize is what she was saying. I also realized that subconsciously we're mentally conditioned to and programmed to respond to things in such a way, as well as the filters in which we see things are controlled and constructed and conditioned by other people, other things outside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But what she didn't realize is in the beginning of the video, she said exactly what the problem was.
What was that?
The problem was that parents from that generation are not aware that they dropped the ball with such a perspective. They don't realize that they were conditioned to be so focused on assimilating, on being accepted by the upper class, that they were so focused on identity, on the way that they looked. That was their focus. And because they were so focused on the way that they appeared outwardly, that they dropped the ball being able to have enough energy and time to focus inwardly, to focus on what was going on in the inside, because they were so focused on what was going on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
They were so focused on appearing to the outside world as being acceptable in the sight of those that they believe were superior to them. So they were so focused on image, how they dressed, having the latest clothing, buying things that they could not afford, but simply because it made them appear to be successful, appear to be acceptable in the sight of people who hated them, who have shown for over 400 years that they hated them, who has tortured and tormented their ancestors and done the most demonic things imaginable to babies, feeding babies to alligators and finding amusement in doing so. These are the people that they were trying to get acceptance from. And they can't even realize that. Even today, they're still blaming the kids. Oh, these kids are so jacked up. This generation is so effed up. They so ungrateful. They so detached. They detached because you were detached from them. And you don't even know you were detached from them. So how are you going to teach them to be attached to themselves when you were detached from yourself? You didn't spend time with them. You didn't try and get to know who they were. You didn't teach them how to take a moment of silence and listen to their thoughts. You didn't try and understand the different stages that they were going through and how to assess and attend to their needs based on what stage they were in at that particular time in their life. You didn't try to find information and educate yourself about these different developmental stages, or even about how you can be a better parent to your child from a psychological standpoint, to an emotional standpoint, to a spiritual standpoint, which then is described outwardly to the physical. You didn't take the time to do that because you were so conditioned to want approval from individuals who told you that you were not worthy enough, from individuals who told you that you were to be treated worse than animals, that you were disgusting and deplorable beings who did not deserve to be treated like humans, because you know what? Wait for it. Because God told them and said that that's the way it was supposed to be. God told them that you and anybody that looked like you fit in those categories, and they conditioned you to believe that your God wanted that for you. So to the parents, or the parent who made that video, if you are a parent, because sometimes we have these, social media experts who never went to school, who never became educated, never did any research or did anything to try and educate themselves to fit that level of being able to lead and give out information that has been fact checked, researched over and over again to be proven credible. To those parents who sit up here and want to continue, you're doing the same thing by pointing the finger at this generation. You're doing the same thing, the same toxic conditioning of pointing outwardly and not pointing inwardly. Until you are able to take accountability and responsibility and say, you know what, I messed up, I dropped the ball, I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize it, that I did not spend enough time learning my child, investing in my child, so that my child will know their self inwardly, so that nothing outside of them can penetrate and destroy them. Those are some things that need to take place during the earliest developmental stages. Because once you get past those earliest developmental stages of conditioning, it's most likely potentially too late. And it's going to take an immense amount of work to uproot and reprogram at that point. So, if you have not heard up until this point someone be completely transparent and honest with you, because that's our duty, to assess what was done previously in the previous generations and correct the things that they got wrong and build upon them. At least that's my reality. Unless you are able to say and see, look in yourself and see what you missed as a parent, and stop blaming that child for being abandoned and deprived and not nurtured in certain areas, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, because you were so focused on appearance. The definition of success for you were things that are dead, that has no value. And you did not teach them that the things that have value cannot be bought. Integrity, morals, respect, self-respect, self-love, the ability to do self-inventory, the ability to look at yourself and see what you need to work on, your weaknesses and things that you need to strengthen about you, so that it cannot be used against you, so that it cannot be preyed upon, so that you cannot become anyone's prey. P-R-E-Y, not P-R-A-Y. Because in the English language, one word means so many different things. Until you're able to do that, you're going to continue to set your child into the generations to come, because I know a lot of you want to say, oh, well, she didn't use proper English, like this one over here, will perpetually pass down those same toxic behaviors. And this is what you guys call a generational curse, but it's not a curse. The curse is you not being able to see that which is in front of you. because you're unable to look at yourself. It's self-inflicted. It's not being done to you. It's being done through you. So take some accountability and responsibility. And then only that, may your child or the children of this generation, because that's what they need. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone brave enough to do that. To say, you know what? Forget my ego and pride, I messed up. Yeah, I dropped the ball. Got it wrong. But look, we now know where we went wrong. Let's start coming up with a plan to make it right. And let's do the work necessary to ensure and make sure that it gets done. That's what they need. That's what they're looking for. They tired of y'all blaming them for what you weren't able to provide for them, or how you neglected them. Blame them for the abuse that was inflicted upon them. They're tired of being blamed for the abuse that you inflicted upon them. Sometimes, most oftentimes unconsciously. You weren't consciously aware of it because you were conditioned and programmed to do so. You were mentally enslaved, emotionally enslaved, spiritually enslaved.
Years of generational curses, Big Dog. You're the chosen one. No wonder this shit's hard, Big Dog. But you're who your bloodline's been waiting for. You're the one to turn it all around. No more vices. No more negative thoughts. No more underperforming. No more poor decisions. You're the one to turn it all around. You're the one to elevate everybody in your fucking life's way of living, way of thinking. You're going to the fucking top, Big Dog, and your bloodline is on your fucking